Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Hot Mess by Jeff Kinney. June. Monday. My dad's always saying you can pick your nose, but you can't pick your family. And even though I get his meaning, it doesn't exactly make me want to share a bowl of popcorn with him. He's right about family, though, because the second you're born, you're automatically in a group of people you never asked to be a part of. In fact, when you're born, a bunch of stuff has already been decided for you, like where you'll live and even what language you'll speak. But since you can't actually talk yet, you can't tell the people taking care of you that mushed up prunes and carrots are a bad combination. I think he likes it. The first thing you learn as a kid is that grown-ups are the ones in charge. And the second thing you learn is that they don't always make the best decisions. Then you find out that the people in charge of you have people who are in charge of them. At least that's the way it is in my family, where Grandma's the one who calls the shots. But you'd never know she had so much power just by looking at her. I made you your favorite cookies. There's actually a whole story to how Grandma became the head of our family. When my great-grandmother Meemaw passed away, someone needed to step up to take her place as our leader. But since Grandma was the youngest of 4 sisters, it didn't look like she'd be the one to take over the family. But then something happened that changed all that. For Easter brunch one year, Grandma made a pot of meatballs, and everyone went crazy for them. Great Uncle Herman declared that Grandma was the best cook in the family. Everybody else agreed, which I'm sure was hard for her older sisters. The way it works in my family is that if you're the best cook, you get to host the big holidays like Thanksgiving and Christmas. But Grandma's older sisters all live far away, and they don't like to travel on the holidays. So Great Aunt Lou came up with a special recipe of her own to try and one-up Grandma. She just couldn't top Grandma's meatballs. Care for some spinach dip? Ever since Grandma introduced her special meatballs, everyone's been trying to get her to tell them the secret recipe. But Grandma's no dummy. She knows that giving it up would be giving up her power. So she just tells everybody that her meatballs only have one ingredient, and it's love. Nobody seems satisfied with that answer, though, and lately a few of my aunts have been trying to steal the recipe. Last Christmas, Aunt Gretchen tried to sneak away with a few meatballs so she could take them to a lab and get them analyzed for the ingredients. The only reason she didn't get away with it was because Grandma's dog, Sweetie, sniffed them out before she could get to her car. Then one night, Aunt Audra came to stay with Grandma and hid her phone in a kitchen cabinet so she could record Grandma making a batch of meatballs. But Grandma discovered the hidden phone and put it in the garbage disposal. Crack! Everybody's always telling Grandma her recipe's so good, she should open a restaurant and make a pile of money. My Aunt Veronica is a businesswoman, and she even came up with a plan for a whole chain of restaurants that would serve Grandma's meatballs, from my kitchen to yours. But Grandma shot that idea down by saying that you can't get a real home-cooked meal in a restaurant, and her meatballs were only for the family. I don't mean to sound harsh or anything, but I hope Grandma shares a recipe with someone in the family soon, because she's not getting any younger. In fact, she just moved out of her house and into an assisted living center a few miles away. Mom says Grandma's happy there because she's with people her age and they have lots of activities. But I sure hope my kids don't try and ship me off to a place like that when I'm old, because I'm actually looking forward to being a burden to my children. Hope Grandma's turning 75 soon, and my mom and her sisters told Grandma they wanted to throw a big party for her birthday. But Grandma says she doesn't want anyone to go to any trouble for her, and she doesn't have the energy for a party like that anymore. Then Grandma said what would make her really happy is if everyone else went to Rocky Neck Island, where the family used to vacation back when Mom and her sisters were kids. Grandma said the only gift she wanted was a photo of the whole family on the beach with the old lighthouse in the background, like the picture she keeps in her apartment. I guess Mom and her sisters couldn't say no to Grandma's birthday request because they'd feel too guilty. So just like that, everybody's summer plans got turned upside down, which proves Grandma is the one pulling the strings in our family. I'm not looking forward to this trip though, because I'm really not a beach person. But Mom says we'll make happy family memories, and she even booked the same house they stayed in as kids to make the vacation extra special. From the picture, the beach house looks a little small to me, and there are a whole lot more people in the family now than there were when Mom and her sisters were young. But what I'm really nervous about is the combination of people going on vacation together. Mom and her sisters only see each other a few times a year, and there's a reason for that. Whenever they're together, all they do is fight, and sometimes it gets so bad between them that Grandma has to step in to break things up. So I want to say for the record that this whole trip is a bad idea. The way I see it, a family vacation is like a recipe, and some ingredients just don't mix. Tuesday. Mom's been trying to get me and my brothers excited by showing us old photo albums from her family vacations on Rocky Neck Island. But every so often there's a page of someone was cut out of a picture. Mom explained that if one of my aunts dated some boy and they broke up, Grandma would cut them out of the photo. That's because she feels like family photo albums are only for family. All of a sudden, something I always used to wonder about made sense. When I was little, I found an envelope stuffed with cutouts of teenagers, and I never knew who they were. I'd play with them like they were action figures, and I'd created these crazy storylines for each character. Tell me where you're hiding the secret plans. I'm not giving them up without a fight. Then prepare to meet your doom. The last time Mom's family went to Rocky Neck Island, she and her sisters were in high school. Aunt Keiki must have had a boyfriend that summer, because there were a bunch of pictures of her next to someone who'd been cut out. But when I asked Mom about Aunt Keiki's boyfriend, she said it was a long time ago and she couldn't remember anything about him. I guess Grandma got sick of cutting ex-boyfriends out of photos, because eventually she made a rule that you're not allowed to be in family pictures unless you've officially married in. And that's a little awkward for Vincent, who's been dating Aunt Keiki for 6 years, but always has to stand behind the camera when we take our family photos. We learned our lesson about this kind of thing by taking too many pictures of Noah, who dated Aunt Veronica for a while. Everybody in the family loved Noah, and he was front and center in a lot of our pictures. In fact, a couple of times he even made it into our family newsletter that Grandma mails out every year.